This project calls for coffee filters. I used 4 cups of water and 20 drops of food coloring. I used red food coloring. You're going to want to take your coffee filters and kind of turn them the wrong way. They'll be easier to separate. You're going to want to separate them one at a time and just put them right down in the water. Now I've put on gloves because the food coloring will color your hands. And you can put as many as you want, 10, 15 in at a time. And the longer you let them soak, the more color they will pick up. I want these to be pink, so I'm not leaving them real long. Maybe 2-3 minutes is all that's needed. So I'm going to push these down into the water, like so, and leave them for just a couple minutes. When you take your coffee filters out of the water, you're going to want to squeeze them over a bowl and squeeze as much of the water out as you can. And then you can unfold them like so. And there's lots of different ways to dry them, but one of the quickest is to just put some paper towels out and then take your coffee filters and separate them one at a time. Spread them out and just put them right down on the paper towels, and they'll start to absorb any of the moisture that is still in them. And then you can layer them, and you can reuse the paper towels. You'll see this already has some pink on it. And the same thing, just press down so this absorbs any of the water from the top of those filters, and put on 2 more. Just spread them out. Another layer of paper towels. But by squeezing them at the beginning, you won't have them be really wet. I know some people like to put theirs in the oven, but I just don't even think that's necessary. This has them dry in no time at all. After all of your coffee filters have dried, you're going to pick out 6 of your coffee filters. And what we're going to do is you're going to fold each one in half. So it kind of looks like a taco. Then you're going to fold it in half again. Fold it in half a 3rd time, and then fold it in half a 4th time. So it will look something like this. Then you're going to take your scissors and cut. You just want to cut a little curve. This does not have to be exact. Remember, in nature, flowers are not all exact. They aren't all exactly the same. I wanted that to be a little more curved, so I took off a little more. And it's going to kind of look like an ice cream cone. Then what we're going to do is we're going to unfold it and cut it in half. This is back to the taco shape, but with a little flare. And then we're going to take each one of these apart and cut them in half. So we've got pieces that look like this. You will have 4 of those pieces from each one of your coffee filters. Like I said, you're going to do that with 6 of your coffee filters. When you're all finished folding and cutting, you're going to have 24 pieces that look just like this. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper wrapped or cloth wrapped floral wire. You don't want just the plain. We're going to take our first piece and low temp glue gun. You want low temperature right there because you're going to be putting your hand on here a lot, and I don't want you to get burned. So we're going to put a little bead of glue right there, and we're going to lay that stem right down on it. And then you're just going to wrap that, and see, with it being low temperature, it's not going to burn me. And we're going to go and wrap this as tightly as we can right around our first petal. Just roll, 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 roll. When you get to here, you're just going to put a little bit of glue right there. And again, using low temp, shouldn't burn you at all. And that is going to be the center of your rose right there, just like that. We're going to do the same thing again. Put a little bead of hot glue right there. We're going to put this down right on top of it, just a little bit higher. You want each petal to be up a little bit higher. press that down and do the same thing. Roll, 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 roll. Nice and snug. When you get to the end, a little bit of glue to hold that. Now for our third one, we're not going to do it quite as tight. We're going to do the same thing, little bead of glue, and a little bit higher than our previous ones. Now this time, we don't want to roll it quite so tightly. So see, I'm rolling it just a little bit looser. You get to this point, instead of just a little bit holding this part, you're going to want to put a bead of glue all the way along there because it's going to be wrapped more loosely. And I like to squeeze the bottom like so. And about at this point, I'm about, maybe about halfway through, I'm going to take some floral wire or floral tape and wrap it around to hold the bottom of my rose really tightly. Well, if you haven't worked with floral tape does not stick to anything, it sticks to itself, and you kind of pull it down. And that's the first one we're going to have on our stem. And see, if you wanted to just use a rose bud in your arrangement, you wouldn't have to add much more and you would be all set. But we're going to continue to make a nice full rose. You don't want to squeeze this too tight and squeeze your rose too tight at this point either. And now this is not even enough to go around over all of the opening. So we're just going to continue to overlap them. You just want to make sure and continue to squeeze the bottom tight. If at any time you want, you can go ahead and add another layer of your floral tape. Squeeze that bottom together really tightly. We've used all 24 of our individual petals. If you want, you can glue these down. Another alternative, you can take a pencil, or in this case, I'm going to take a mini glue stick, and you can roll some of these outside petals as if the rose is opening up. So you can just take this right around your rose with your fingers and just roll the coffee filter right around those. And you just want to do that with your outer petals. Don't want to go all inside. And if you don't like this, out like this, again, just a little hot glue, stick it right down, hold it for a second, and it'll stick. And you can get creative. You can fluff it out a little bit if you'd like. Just like so. And there you have it, how to make a coffee filter rose.